Hello, my name is Henkel Smith. I'm here with Salah Ahmad, and we are going to walk you through a short demonstration of database performance tuning that we've performed on a WinRetail database. We demonstrated this performance tuning at the JDS User Conference in Carlsbad, California in 2013. So let me give you a quick background on the relationship between Integrant and JDS Solutions. Integrant is a custom software development firm. We've been working with JDS for over 10 years in different roles. Some of you might be familiar with DTS as part of the product from JDS. We were heavily involved in that development. More recently, some of our development includes the Power Cubes for reporting services. And in 2012, JDS engaged us again on behalf of their client base to try to find ways to improve the performance of WinRetail databases. A lot of you have most likely had your WinRetail systems in place for a number of years, and as time goes on, if a database is not tuned and kept up to date, you could start seeing performance issues. So that's what this demonstration is all about. I'm going to hand over to Salah, and he's going to walk through some more details of what we've done to find some performance enhancements for WinRetail.
Okay, so basically I chose the trending report as an example of functionality that we can show the value of the performance tuning that we have done. I'm just going to go through some parameter selection here, choosing some vendors, and then I am going to time it up, and it's running basically around 24 and 30 seconds. So I estimate that this will take approximately 3.5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm just going to talk to you about the type of database tuning that we apply to this database. It's just to emphasize, this is the same WinRetail databases that most of you have. The only difference is this is probably larger. It's one of the largest databases that WinRetail run through today. The type of enhancements that we did on it did include basically index management, TIM database, best practices application to it, partitioning and memory management, as well as disk management. So when it comes to index management, that basically means we know what are the tables and columns that WinRetail uses the most. Basically the data that you retrieve or query or search for the most, we go in there and configure it to be indexed, which instructed the database engine to retrieve the records based on those data as fast as possible. TIM databases best practices, basically that means we also configure the database engine to use the temporary databases the best way possible. SQL Server uses the TIM databases to put in temporary data in it. When you retrieve large query that has a lot of data in it, it basically stores them in the TIM databases. And if you are configuring those the right way, it will help significantly on the way the data is retrieved. Memory management is the same. WinRetail have a lot of complex queries, and it relies on the memory to store the data while it's basically executing. It has to basically be configured the right way. Disk management is also important. You have to have enough space for SQL Server, and you have to configure your SQL Server the right way to be able to let the engine work the most efficient way. Partitioning is also a very important area of database performance tuning. Basically, when you do partitioning, you instruct the database and the application to retrieve the data based on segments. So if you query or search for your database on locations, or if you search on your database on calendar months, you partition your data that way. You tell SQL Server, store October data for 2012 in a special segment. You store location data in another segment. You basically store a combination of those in dedicated segments, which will help significantly on retrieving the data after you configure it. So a mix of those enhancements would give us significant improvement on the database performance. This is just an example, the trending report, of areas that would get benefit of those database performance tuning that we can apply to. So basically it just came back, and approximately it took 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to run the same exact trending report on another database where we have applied our partitioning to it. So I'm just going to restart SQL Server. And I'm just going to change the connection of WinRetail to the other database where we have applied our changes to it. Just going to take me a few seconds to do that. So again, I'm just configuring WinRetail to point to the other database where we have applied our database performance. Okay, just gonna go back and start WinRetail. And I'm going to go through the same exact exercise where I chose the trending report and select some parameters in there. All right, I'm almost done. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a start, and you will see how fast it will come back. So in less than 5 seconds, it came back with the same exact results. Keep in mind, those are exactly the same databases. When I say exactly the same databases, I mean the same structure and the same data. The only difference is the database performance enhancements were applied to the second database. So basically, we have a drop on the execution time from 3 minutes and 40 seconds to 5 seconds. And in general, the benefits behind implementing such kind of performance enhancements is you get a lot of queries run faster, and you retrieve the data in terms of searching for data, running and exporting and importing data a lot faster. It will also help you lowering the cost for hardware upgrade, because once you apply such kind of enhancements, it will not require you to buy new memory or CPU or what have you. And it will also help significantly on administrative stuff like backup and disaster recovery and so on and so forth.
So as a partner of JDS Solutions, what Integrant has done is put together different options, and really it's based on the size of your database of how we can work with you and how quickly you can see results on the performance of your database on WinRetail. You can see here on your screen, there's 3 different options. Again, based on database size, 10 gigs is really the main difference. If you have a very large database, on the right-hand side, our Gunit package, really the main difference there is taking into consideration partitioning, which is something that we would do on a very large database. So if you're interested in learning more about this, in particular how your WinRetail database could see some performance enhancements, reach out to us or reach out directly to JDS, and we'd love to have a conversation with you about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.